buckle up and get ready for a wild ride through the world of USB ports, cables, and connectors. But first, let's take a trip down memory lane. It's the 90s, and you're rocking a bowl cut that would make Mo Howard jealous, jamming out to Spice Girls on your Discman. Meanwhile, in a dingy basement, a group of sweatpants-clad computer nerds are huddled around a bulky desktop, marveling at its lightning-fast 56K modem speed. Sheesh, if they thought that was impressive, they'd need new drawers after seeing today's standards. Speaking of which, fast forward to today, and that dinosaur of a machine is about as useful as a pet rock compared to the sleek, ultra-connected devices we carry around in our pockets, and you're probably watching this video with. But what kind of black magic is it that allows our smartphones, tablets, and laptops to talk to a gazillion devices and transfer a massive amount of data at blistering speeds? Well, I can tell you it ain't a bunch of elves creating chords out of magic or a bunch of mutant carrier pigeons. Nope, it's all thanks to that unsung yet so necessary hero of tech, the Universal Serial Bus, or as those who are too lazy to use full words would say, USB. This little marvel is the great connector, the digital duct tape that holds our devices together in unity. With its different ports, cables, and connectors, the USB is the ultimate multitasker, juggling everything from data transfer to charging your gadgets, all while keeping things tidy. So let's dive headfirst into the wonderful world of USB, where we'll unravel the mysteries of ports, cables, and connectors, one hilarious analogy at a time. Maybe after today you won't be so frustrated when you're trying to untangle your 10 million cords. But before we get on to that, if you enjoy tech videos like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a cool video. And don't forget to comment, because we love to hear your thoughts so that we can bring you the best content. Alright, let's get on with it. Starting with the basics, the USB, or Universal Serial Bus, is kind of like a digital superhighway, allowing data to zoom from one device to another at incredible speeds. But unlike regular roads, which are chaotic messes of lane changes, road rages, and people leaving their turn signals on till the cows come home if they use their turn signals at all! Sorry about that. Unlike them, USBs are orderly, well-organized systems. At its core, USB relies on a few key components: ports, cables, and connectors. These work together in perfect harmony, like a well-choreographed dance routine, except without the spandex and jazz hands. Unless you're into that sort of thing. Starting off with the ports, these are the gateway drugs of the USB world, the place where all the cables and connectors come to partay. Your computer, phone, and other devices are loaded with USB ports, each one just waiting to be plugged in and serenized with sweet, sweet data. Man, that fruit is hanging low. Do I really want to pick it? Of course I do! That's what she said! Moving on, we got the cables, the strappy divas of the USB ensemble. These flexible wires come in all shapes and sizes, ready to strut and connect your devices in style. And at the end of each cable, you'll find our third key player, the connector. These are the plugs at the end of each cable, but instead of being the boring old 2 or 3 prongs, they got that sleek, stylish design that goes perfectly with them smooth gizmos. And just like the cables, the connectors also come in various shapes and sizes, each one perfectly optimized for different tasks and devices. Now I can tell that your brain already plugged into the question booth and it's spitting out, "But wait, don't all these ports, cables, and connectors cause chaos and confusion? I can't even get my cords untangled half the time." Slow down, grasshopper. That's where the genius of USB comes into play. Thanks to a bunch of eggheads, USB is designed to be plug and play, meaning you can connect pretty much any device to any port, all without wasting hours deciphering arcane hardware rituals or sacrificing virgins to the tech gods. And if any of you were stupid enough to do that last part, well, what comes around goes around, buddy. The USB automatically figures out what's been plugged in and handles all the complicated handshaking and data transfer protocols, so you can focus on more important things, like crafting that perfect duck face selfie or binge-watching cat videos. Hey, as I like to say, if you don't like cats, there's something wrong with you. Doesn't automatically mean you're a bad person, but there's just something wrong with you. Anyway, now that we got the basics down, let's dive into the different types of USB ports, cables, and connectors out there. It's a smorgasbord of connectivity options, each one personalized for specific tasks and devices. Starting the lineup, we've got the OG, the USB Type A. This classic rectangular connector is the one you'll find on pretty much every computer, laptop, and big boy device out there. It's the dad's genes of the USB world, reliable, sturdy, and always there when you need it, especially those times when it counts. But what about the smaller devices like smartphones and tablets? That's where the micro and mini connectors come into play. These tiny guys are like the skinny jeans of the USB family, sleek and compact enough to fit even the slimmest of gadgets. And lastly, we've got one that you probably know all about, USB Type-C. This all-in-one reversible connector is like the onesie of the USB world. It just works, no matter which way you plug it. No more squinting at ports in dim lighting or violently jamming cables into the wrong spot and wrecking your device. But here's where it gets really interesting. These different connectors all hook up to an entire ecosystem of USB cables, each designed for an intended purpose. You got your standard cables for charging and data transfer, sturdy braided cables for added durability, and even cables with fancy tricks like built-in LED lights or magnetic connectors. Got a high-tech haberdashery going on for all your cable needs. But all these cables wouldn't mean a whole lot if speed wasn't involved. USB has evolved over the years, with newer versions offering blistering fast transfer rates that would make a 90s modem blush. I'm talking lightning-quick copying of huge files, seamless streaming of 4K videos, and unfathomably rapid charging times. Who could say no to a rapid charging time? Alright, tech ninjas, we've covered the different types of cables and connectors, but what about those funky colored ports on your computer or laptop? The ones that have a bunch of different colors on them to make it look like there's a miniature rave. Well, it's not quite a rave, friends. These ports are actually a secret code, one which tells you exactly what kind of USB tech you're dealing with. It's to help your little pea-brain navigate the tangled web of USB capabilities without just jamming plugs into ports to see what works. For example, those classic black ports, those are probably the good old USB 2.0 ports, the workhorses of the USB world. They may not be the fastest kids on the block, but they're reliable and get the job done. Kinda like that trusty pickup you've had since high school that's all rusted but still runs like it's day one. Those little blue ports are the sports cars of the USB world, USB 3.0 and 3.1. These guys offer blazing fast transfer speeds, perfect for shuffling huge amounts of data or charging up your devices in record time. You gotta love fast data transfer, especially when you need to quickly transfer that file that says homework. And those fancy red and orange ports? They're the VIPs of the USB club, reserved for things like quick charging or keeping your devices juiced up even when your computer's asleep. They're almost like having a little butler that ensures your tech is pampered and ready to go. Also, it's a lot more affordable than a real butler. So now that you know the little secret color code, you can easily identify the capabilities of each of these connections and pick the right one for your needs. After all, it ain't the size of the plug, it's how you use it. But how could you talk about technology without talking about the future? And USBs isn't just about faster speeds and higher bandwidth, it's about fundamentally changing how we interact with our devices and the world around us. Imagine a world where your smartphone becomes a digital Swiss Army knife, able to seamlessly connect to any device or display with a single cable. Picture walking into a conference room, plugging in your phone, and boom! You've got a full-fledged computer setup, complete with a big display, fancy keyboard and mouse, all powered by that pocket rocket in your pants. Of course I mean the phone. This time. But it don't stop there, eager beavers. With US technology integrating things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and even 5G, you could ditch those clunky cables entirely. Your Ultrabook could beam its display wirelessly to any screen, or your smart speaker can sync with your TV for an immersive theater experience at home. All with the tap of a button. You know, if tech bending was the thing, I imagine this is pretty close to it. And of course, let's not forget about power delivery. Future standards of USB could potentially supercharge your devices quicker than a nitro-boosted muscle car, all while gently sipping power like a Zen master. I'm talking a fully charged laptop in minutes, not hours. Hey, you might even be able to use that same USB cable to juice up your Tesla. That might sound wild, but that's just the tip of the USB iceberg. Engineers and scientists around the world are cooking up all sorts of crazy innovations like a Miyazaki DLC, like USB cables that can also provide ultra-fast internet connectivity, or connectors that can bend and flex without ever breaking. We might even see USB technology integrated into flexible displays or wearable tech down the road. The only thing limiting these possibilities is the human imagination and ingenuity. USB has come a long way from its humble roots as a simple way to connect peripherals. These days, it's a technological Swiss Army knife, constantly evolving to meet the changing needs of our hyper-connected world. So, the next time you go to plug in a cable to charge your phone after you've untangled it from 10,000 different cords, take a moment to appreciate the engineering marvel that is the humble USB. It's the little connector that could, and it's shaping the future of tech right before our very eyes. Who knows, maybe in 10 years, we'll be using USB to download our brains into the cloud. Let's just pray that it's not anything like Skynet. But if this whistle-stop tour through the world of USB ports, cables, and connectors has left you starry-eyed and wanting more, be sure to check out our other videos on cutting-edge tech topics. Tap that subscribe button, and you'll never miss another installation of our quest to make complex technology fun and accessible for everyone. No PhD required. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.